614.
Ni aje watu wetu?
Liron and K hapa.
Siku nyingi imekuwa.
Siku mingi aje.
I hope watu wetu wamekuwa poa. And pia ni vizuri kuwa nanyi tena. Leo hii topic yetu, mada kubwa ni kuhusu widows.
Madirisha?
Widows. Mtu mwenye ako na shida ya matamshi atasema widows ya dirisha, lakini mimi nasema widows ya kizungu ambao ni mjane. So swali kuu ni wajane wamekuwa wakifinyiliwa sana na relatives, kisheria, kila mtu wana take advantage ya wajane, hata makanisani. Sorry to say, but you see, mjane ni kama ana haki. Mume akimwondokea hana haki tena. So that was the biggest question for today. How should people treat wajane?
You know, it's an important topic.
Yeah.
And ni important, I think hata UN wame-recognize kuwa widows wananyanyaswa. And I think the International Widows Day was, I think, June 23rd.
Yeah.
I don't know whether
I don't remember.
Yeah, I think it's June 23rd.
June 23rd, yeah.
So the UN recognizes that widows have rights too.
Yeah.
And maybe it's a wide topic, and I think the most important ni recognize kuona, especially kwa patriarchal societies. Pali wanaume ndio, of course, it's a man's world at the end of the day. So men wanakani kama wako na rights, more rights than women. Yeah? Kwa sababu ujasikia, I've not had a lot of issues of people, of widowers. Yeah, it's because people think, okay, fine, after the man is no more, the woman looks like they don't have any right. So so maybe the biggest question is, how do we protect women? I mean, widowers.
How do you protect the widows when the man is out of their lives? Because most of the time, when the man is there, nobody will come to that house to cause chaos and want to pick anything. Nobody will mistreat them. But once the man leaves the world and mtetezi wa huyu widow hayuko, that's when they know the true colors of the family of the other side. Mtu anakuja anataka kuchukua, tuseme hata for example something like a TV and the seats and the cooking stuff in the house. This house has kids. These kids are your brother's kids or your sisters. You know, like your brother's kid, you are the sister or the brother to the deceased. But you want your kids to enjoy something that you don't even know if your brother bought it or the lady of the house bought it, and you be comfortable to keep this thing in your house, and the other kids that were supposed to use it are no longer using it.
I think from time immemorial, like we said before, women are seen like they do not have any rights to anything. So I think the only way to start protecting women is actually to educate them. Yeah? To educate them, and also, because even when the man leaves a will, and like you rightfully said, and like what we talked about before, besides every successful man or whatever, besides that there is a woman, they build this together, you know. Even if when you leave a will, most of the time the woman's right is not recognized. So I think it's also important to teach these women that it is important to stand up for yourself and protect yourself. And I know there are a lot of legal ways to protect yourself.
That's true.
So I think it's important that people start talking about this. Protect yourself, you know, be selfish in a way to protect your property. Even if the man has left a will, you need to get a lawyer to be able to get to put these things into perspective. But now, not everybody has access to those facilities of a lawyer. Not everybody has access or money to get a lawyer and all that. So what happens to that woman in the village once she's a widow? What happened to her? Like you said, the relatives will come and say, okay, fine, this belonged to our brother, this belonged to this. So how do you protect? My main question is, how do you protect these women?
I want to put on something, maybe I'll go out of this a little bit. The government in Kenya can put in place a law that says, if a man dies like today, if you are a mpango wa kando, you cannot come and say, I lived with him when he's being buried, because hauko unajulikana, the wife is known, yeah? They make laws to protect themselves, but they don't make laws to protect the mwananchi wa chini. Mtu atasema tunaweka sheria, a man can marry more wives. Yeah? It is made to be a law because wanajikuta kwa hizo mashida za kuwa ana mke mwingine mahali, but inakuwa ni shida kwa sababu ni leader. Ikijulikana inasemekana amefanya hii amefanya ile, but now wanaiweka kama law ndio ikuwe normal. Why can't you fight for people who cannot fight for themselves, like a widow?
And that's why we'll go back to it's a man's world. Yeah, they are the ones who make most of the laws, and the laws always are to protect them. Most of the time to protect, and when it comes to women coming up with laws that are protecting them, then it becomes that we are becoming too, vocal, and we want to be above the men. But at the end of the day, I think women should learn from what men do, like being, like I'm gonna call it selfish. Let me use that word, selfish, because they make these laws to protect themselves.
Yeah.
So when we find that women are now coming up and saying, well, you know what, this is our place too, right? And women start protecting other women, I think it's important for women to come together to be able to protect each other, in such situations, and have women lawyers or advocates that are able to advocate for these women. If you're talking about Kenya, for instance, there's, what is it called? Is it FIDA?
Yeah, FIDA.
It's FIDA. You see how it was bashed. It's usually bashed all the time because it's protecting the rights of women at the end of the day. So it's such a patriarchal society that we are living in, that anything that we are talking about women is being looked at. You want to have what? Why do you want to have these rights? Even look at voting rights. It's still an issue. Even women in government is still an issue. So it's a widespread issue on matters women, that at the end of the day we always have issues that women are going to get, whether they are widows or they are single mothers or they're just investors or anything like that, or they're in politics. There will always be an issue of how women are treated. So that's why you have to digress a little bit, that's why you have issues of someone says, okay, why is Mother's Day being celebrated more than Father's Day? But no one says, how come men have more rights than women? How come no one talks about that?
Some things like, women, they know how to celebrate themselves. Men, on the other side, some things we just say like,
Good point. If women then know how to celebrate themselves,
but they don't know how to take care of each other.
How come we cannot be able to, at the end of the day, how come we're not able to protect each other, like what we're talking about, what I was talking about? Why can't women come together and advocate for each other, that when there is a widow somewhere, they come together and say, well, huyu amefiwa, we know how this, customary, how this is going to go down, and they come up with a way, like a kamweredo or something, like those, and protect this woman, because the family that she is in likely are going to come back and say, well, this, wewe ni mtu wa kukuja, si ndio mnasemanga?
Haina shida, amekuja but wale watoto wanalea ni wa hapo. Hakuja nao.
Yeah. So I think we have digressed, and we have digressed, but true. It's such a big and important question. How do we protect the widowers from?
Do you know even the system that you're talking about, the lawyers and the system itself? If the other people have money or they know someone, that someone will help these people kunyanyasa the weaker one.
So what are we trying to say then?
I personally would say the people who live in that village, hizo nyumba 10 mko nazo, those are the people to tetea these people without giving up, the chief, whoever. Because if people are coming to, let's say, take stuff from this widow, she should call the people near there. And these people should not even allow a single glass from that house go out of that compound.
So at the end of the day, we are talking about advocacy and being able to, people start talking about these things, is on Nyumba Kumi or the community around you, start talking about it among themselves, start saying, well, you know what, we need to protect our own that...
If the government cannot protect you, protect yourself. And the only way to protect yourself is, like for example, we live here, we have neighbors. If I see, nikiona neighbor anadhulumiwa, mimi ndio wa kwanza kuraise, nafunga ile gate, nasema hakuna kitu inatoka wapi. Wale wenye wanakujia hizi vitu wakiona, huyu already mahali anakaa ako na watu wanamshika, they will not step there. Unaelewa? Because ukiangalia law is not fighting for the weak ones. It's fighting for the rich ones. Today someone can shoot someone because they have money, hiyo si kesi. Itaenda hivi hata mwenye kushutiwa anapewa pesa anasema hata sikuona mwenye kunishoot.
So advocacy, we need to start doing advocacy for women. And being able to make sure that these people are being taken care of, and they have rights too, they have rights to the property, and like you rightfully said, people have built wealth together, right? You've built whatever you're doing, or like now, whatever we're doing, we're building wealth together. So at the end of the day, no one should come and say, well, it belonged to you, because we worked equally. You don't know how much you have put in.
In fact, most of these women have put a lot. Some even some guys hawana even 75% of what is in their houses. Sorry to say so, but I'm saying some, not all of them. So why you coming to say unachukua vitu which maybe hata ni huyu mwenye alitafuta ile nyingi, huyo mama mnamnyang'anya. Watoto wake wamelelewa kwa zile vitu, so mnawanyang'anya warudi kuwa bila. So unaharibu hata maisha ya watoto wa ndugu yako.
But I think we've come a long way. I know maybe 10, 20 years ago, it was a different story. But right now, I think we've really come a long way on the laws and on how to protect people. You've had stories of people who've gone out and are really talking about advocating for women and widows. Let me say for widows too. So I think we've come a long way, and we need to go. We need to put more effort on putting women rights in general. In general, putting women's rights at the forefront.
And if you feel so hard to put those rights for women, put them for those kids who are under the woman.
That's true.
And like we are saying, let us start is from where we stay. This person, we know her. She has lived there with us, with that man. And since that guy hayuko, be the protector of that person. So when you know the man is not there, na mnajua, some people will just come and start disturbing the peace of hers. They don't even give her time to mourn. They don't even give her time to reset. They, you know, that's the time she needs any help she can get. And by the way, some of these people are so good. They will even sit, kama kuna mali iliwachwa waseme, na huyu jamaa alikuwa anaangalia mama yake, tuseme for example, ama kuna watoto wao alikuwa anasoma. Some of them are humans. They will say this amount will be going, iendelee kufanya ile kazi ilikuwa inafanya. So it's very bad to take what is not yours. Let me say that.
That's true.
Unaenda kuchukua vitu haukufanyia kazi. Why do you want free things? Free things, watu wanataka free things ni watu wavivu. Mtu ambaye hataki kufanya kazi. Yeah. And by the way, ukiona watu wengi wenye ukimbilia vitu, those I'm telling you, the assets and vitu za marehemu ndugu yao, look behind them. Laziness.
They are looking. They're opportunists.
Opportunist and laziness. They don't want to work for theirs. They want the easier way to get it. Wewe unyang'anye mtoto wa mwingine vitu uende wako akaenjoy. They will not. By the way, you're putting a curse to your kid.
Yeah. I know that we've come a long way, and I hope as we go, these things are not. We're not going to be talking about these things as much, as much as we were. 10 or 5 years ago. So in the next 3 or 4 years, or like we mentioned, like the UN has now recognized that that's a big problem that needs to be taken care of. So I think it's important that happens.
I would say like it starts with me and you, because it's very hard to hear someone talk about this topic. Even the churches, if the widow was active or a big person in the church, when the man leaves, hatakuwa kwa hiyo kiti tena, ataondolewa.
No, yeah.
Then the women themselves, they will start saying, akikaa hapo atachukua, akifanya hivi, wakimwona hata akijaribu, maybe this lady ako hata na sons. She is looking for people to be like the fathers to her kids, ndio wasimisi hiyo, hiyo wasikuwe na hiyo gap. But someone would say, anataka sasa kuchukua bwana yangu. Some of these ladies, they don't even want them, and they just want to concentrate and bring up their kids, but they want these kids not to have that gap.
And I think it's a hypocrisy, because we always say that it takes a community to raise kids, and it takes a community for people to live together. But when it's not suiting you, then it's the community does not come in to help you protect you. Because if I remember those stories that we used to be told when we were a little bit younger, where the community used to come together for the sake of others, for the sake of the orphans and the widows. That does not happen anymore. It's rare. Once you become a widow, you become like an outcast.
That's true.
There's a lot of stigmatization about widows. Traditionally you hear people talking about, now you be inherited by somebody else, or some people start saying that you have a disease or something like that.
That's even simple. The worst is you killed your husband. I don't know.
Yeah, that's when you're the one who killed. That stigma.
There's no normal death anymore.
That stigma is there are so many things that go on, and that's why for me I'm passionate about rights of women, because I think women are it's a man's world, and whatever laws are being made, most of them are being made by men. They are there to suit the men, but most of the time.
To differ, because today, even in our African governments, we have more ladies like then.
Yeah, we have more, but at the end of the day, the laws that are being made, are they favoring the women or are they favoring the men?
Most of it they make to favor the.
Yeah, they favor the men. It's still a man's world. At the end of the day, it's still a man's world at the end of the day. So those are, and like I said, things have changed a little bit, but we need to move, I think, at a faster pace on protecting women in all aspects.
Yeah, that's the job of a man, to protect women. And most of us have daughters. So what you do today, when you
It's a
would
cycle.
you want it to be done to your daughter? You know, that's the question.
That's a good point to end it.
Yep.
Yeah. Because it's a cycle.
Do whatever you do to other people. Remember, you have daughters in your houses. You're bringing up daughters. You have to have a purpose to make a better life for your children. It's a human being's, I would use the word mandate, to live what you found better than you found it. Yeah, you know. So men, let's wake up.
Yeah,
let's wake up and please protect the widows as much as you can. This is from men, the women, the churches, the community. Let these people feel they have people around them, because when they have that loss, it's hard for them. They are mourning, people are taking their stars. Protect them. If this is not even using force, so you don't even need the government in it, like you're not doing anything illegally. So tell people, we don't know you, leave, or we call law enforcement for you. As much as I say some people will use the law enforcement because they know people to come in, but if you people protect, even those people will not, people hate where there is shouting. As much as you're powerful and you know your name will be put in the mud, you will run away from that situation. That's the only way to help these widows. And you people help also your fellow women,
advocate for
and also their kids, their sons. Use your men like me. If you have a lady friend who's lost her husband and they have sons, let that son have
a
mentor like me. They can come here. I take time with them. They will know what a man is supposed to do. But if you look at it like, when I want to help the son, I want the mother, then you're not helping your fellow woman.
That's true. That's a good point.
Let's be a community. Let's be a community of love. Let's be a community of lifting each other like we used to before. Let's not lose our good doings. And for that, badai.
Badai.
We love you.